to eggs. In North, meals are vegetarian. Can North Indian states plug the protein gap? And on point 2, I had a conversation with BJP spokesperson Charu Pragya on Gen Z movement. Was this a genuine youth uprising or a politically driven campaign? Charu responds. And now let's take a quick look at the headlines. Leader of Opposition Rahul Gandhi refuses to apologize for holding Home Minister Amit Shah responsible for violence on students. He says either Amit Shah ordered the firing or he didn't know about it. Ministry of Civil Aviation on Air India 171 flight crash says no abnormality found in flight's fuel switch. However, further inspection of complete thrust control module is underway. CBI files 20,000-page charge sheet against 13 accused in NEET paper leak probe. Charge sheet filed before special fast-track court contains statements from 360 witnesses linked to the case. It is not about chicken, but I think it's only about protein and nutrition. Tamil Nadu government is seriously considering a proposal to serve chicken biryani once every week under the midday meal scheme. School Education Minister A. Rajmohan has confirmed that the proposal has already been placed before Chief Minister C. Joseph Vijay and is currently under consideration. The suggestion came from more than 80 teacher associations during pre-budget consultations. The argument is simple: improve the quality of meals, improve attendance, improve nutrition. Along with better quality rice, they have also demanded that chicken biryani be introduced once a week while extending the breakfast and noon meal schemes to higher secondary students. If approved, the proposal could become one of the most significant changes to Tamil Nadu's iconic noon meal program in decades. But this isn't just about what's on the menu, it's also about nutrition, politics and ideology. The debate over eggs and non-vegetarian food in government schools have divided states for years. According to available data, only 14 states currently serve eggs under the midday meal scheme, while only 5 BJP-ruled states provide eggs in school meals. Maharashtra stopped funding eggs in 2025 and West Bengal is now moving in a similar direction. Now, Tamil Nadu could go a step further, not just eggs but chicken biryani. Supporters argue that for many children from economically weaker families, a nutritious non-vegetarian meal can improve attendance, reduce malnutrition and encourage students to remain in school. They point to Tamil Nadu's long history of welfare-driven school meal programs. So the question I am asking is, how can Indian schools increase protein intake of children? Can school ensure those who are non-vegetarian get to eat at least eggs in midday meals in schools? All South Indian states serve egg in the midday meal and majority of states in North India don't. Is this a telling statement on North and South divide in this country when it comes to food and other issues? Now, I'm joined by Shekhar Vijayan, political analyst, and I'm also joined by Akanksha Pandey, founder, The Gut IQ Clinic. I'll be joined by other guests, I'll be joined by Shilpa Arora, who is a nutritionist, and Ramesh K, Tamil Nadu Teachers Association, State Tech Secretary, subsequently. But let me go to Akanksha first. When we talk about food, the culture gets in, the religion gets in. There is one state now, apart from eggs, they want to introduce chicken biryani. Your opening comments. I'm not going to make this about this and that, you and me. Your opening comments, ma'am.
So if the idea is to increase protein intake for kids, I think that's a great idea, right? But one of the most important things that we have to remember is that not all protein is created equal and not all protein suits everybody the same way. So if we are encouraging kids to have protein, we should also encourage choice. And I think that is very critical. So this is not about vegetarian, non-vegetarian, also as much as it is about, does a particular protein source actually suit a person? Because you don't want the child getting sick. So that's one thing. The second thing is, let's say we do introduce chicken biryani, right? Can we guarantee quality? Especially because supply chains, specifically in poultry meat, can be very dicey. And so when we're talking about children's health, we should also be looking at the supply chains very critically. And we should make sure that, it's not low quality meat in the name of protein, right? And I think the third point that is very important to make is that as kids grow up, it's not just one particular ingredient that is going to determine their health. So we do overfixate on protein as the main macro. but we have to look at
Really?
it from
Are we
balance.
over-fixated on protein? If you look at Instagram, it's all about protein. I mean to say, you look at your social media handles, boss, it's not about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are like the poor part. बेचारे गरीब हो गए हैं carbs.
That's
Protein
actually
rich हो गए
completely
हैं.
incorrect. That's very incorrect because a balanced meal requires all things and the source of the protein and whether it matches your gut microbiome. That is the main question. How does it matter if Ferrari is the best car if you don't have money to buy Ferrari? It doesn't matter, right? So it's the same thing with protein. It's not like, okay, chicken is the best protein, so now everybody should have it. It doesn't work like that. It's like, does it suit you, right? And suit basically means digestibility.
Okay. Shekhar, biryani has become very controversial in this country. If I would have said rice and chicken, the emotion would have been different from that of chicken biryani. When you say biryani, suddenly there's politics around it. If I would have said chicken pulao, or I would have said, okay, chicken nuggets with rice, or if I would have said boiled chicken with rice, or some other chicken with rice or roti or some billet, it would have evoked a different feeling. When I say biryani, chicken biryani, it just goes to a different level.
Absolutely. I think biryani is an emotion for a lot of people when they're really hungry. But I think the headline says chicken biryani, but the real story is child nutrition. I think what we really need to focus on is whether it improves the protein intake, whether there is attendance, whether there's concentration, learning outcome. And I think Tamil Nadu government as a whole has always had welfare schemes, which have been a standout program for them, which has really helped them in terms of politics, in terms of, in terms of ensuring their longevity. Now, in terms of the midday meal, we need to look at evidence, not emotions. As in whether this proposal succeeds or not should be decided by data, not by political ideology. The government should ideally, publish measurable indicators. Whether has NEMI reduced, has attendance improved, has concentration improved, has the learning outcomes gone in. I think that's going to be important. See, welfare schemes should be evaluated like public investments at the end of the day. See,
But Tamil Nadu has been a pioneer when it comes to children, noon meal, nutrition, getting the attendance up. When it was introduced, the first thing which they did was give them food, they will come. Then they started working on the type of food. In fact, the introduction of eggs for the first time was done in Tamil Nadu first, not in any other state. So I would say Tamil Nadu and the CMs of Tamil Nadu have been pioneer in this midday meal schemes and food and attendance. That way the credit has to go to Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like I said, it's a flagship program for them. Welfare schemes, I think it started from Tamil Nadu itself in terms of, and they want to, I think the Vijay government is really bullish about this because they want to make this stand out in the first 90 days of their political journey. And with this scheme, with the midday meal chicken biryani scheme, in terms of the protein intake, in terms of how it qualifies, I think we need to look at what is the outcome out of it, whether the students really focus more, whether there is improvement in the nutrition, and whether there's improvement in the concentration. But I think the Vijay government really wants to focus on this because it's like a flagship program for them, and they can use this as a signature program. That's the whole idea.
Absolutely. Let me introduce K. Ramesh. He joins me, Tamil Nadu Teachers Association, and Dr. Shilpa Arora, nutritionist. But to my viewers, let me just take my viewers what Tamil Nadu has done. Generally we talk about Tamil Nadu when there's a language issue. No, there are other things to the state. 1920, the Madras Corporation introduced a pilot project in 1,000 lights to provide midday tiffin. 1925-30, program was expanded to Madras Municipal Corporation. 1956-57, K. Kamraj launched a major free lunch scheme across corporation. 1982, M.G. Ramachandran expanded it, rebranded into nutritious noon meal scheme and extending it to Anganwadi or rural childcare centers. 1989, Karnanidhi introduced boiled eggs into the meal. I can just go on, but Ramesh, can you just shed light on this rice and chicken? I'm not going to use the word chicken biryani, rice and chicken. Why? Is it one day? What's the proposal? Can you just decode it for us?
Yeah, sure, sir. In Tamil Nadu, we have a lot of flagship programs. Among them, the nutritional midday meal scheme is a very, very important one because we have in 2014 we have introduced variety meals. So first one is Monday, people who have vegetable biryani with pepper egg. Tuesday, black Bengal gram pulao with the tomato masala egg. And Wednesday, tomato rice with pepper egg. Thursday, rice sambar and boiled egg. Friday, curry leaf kerai sadam with masala egg. So if you see the list as a nutritional person can value the things, protein, carbohydrate, vitamins. So if you list out all those things, it will be very important for the age group of children. That is very, very important. So as far as we already introduced from 2014 vegetable biryani, now we have included for testing purposes and respect for choice and inclusion. So that is very, very important. So we have already introduced vegetable biryani. Now we are also testing to introduce chicken biryani. To maintain social harmony and avoid exclusion, children who don't consume chicken, they have already options are available for vegetable biryani. So there is no need of confusing with the vegetarians and non-vegetarians.
I
There
think
is no
Ramesh, you are in for a pleasant surprise. My debate is not on food and cultural sensitivity. My debate is on food and protein. I'm not going to walk that path. You know, my debates, my programs are not about that. You have come here for the first time. Be ready for a pleasant surprise. Let me go across to Dr. Shilpa Arora, nutritionist. Thank you, madam, for joining me.
Thank you.
Though all 5 South Indian states, they offer egg. I was just going through the data. North Indian states are not doing it, barring a couple. There was a controversy which has taken place in West Bengal. Now, I think egg is back on the menu. You know, protein is very important component when children grow up. And nutritious protein is very, very important. And India is not a completely vegetarian country. There was a survey that was done. There is a huge non-vegetarian population also. So one, your opening comments of introduction of meat protein in children's menu, and what more can be done to introduce good, nice, edible, and as Akanksha said, absorbable protein, if I am right, madam, in children's diet.
You know, first of all, we must understand the burden of stunted growth. The Indian children, we are the highest population of stunted growth in children in the world. So we need to consider this, that it's not just protein, there are other micro, macro nutrients that we're missing out on. So we should consider and congratulate states like Tamil Nadu, who have introduced eggs and who've introduced chicken and other non-vegetarian food for people who eat non-vegetarian and for people who eat eggs, because it is a complete protein, one, plus the other nutrients. I'll go beyond protein and go on to say choline. Very important for brain development of the children. Vitamin B12, vitamin D3, zinc, magnesium, iodine. We are an iodine deficient nation. We are not talking about it. So pregnant women, if they are iodine deficient, the brain is not developed of the fetus. So here, these are children who are not having essential nutrients in their meals. So I feel it is a great initiative. The food is made tasty. Plus, there is this added protein which is coming from non-vegetarian food, which is 100% a complete bioavailable source. And I also will add on that, you know, with nutrition, we should not add politics to this. We should not add religious biases to this. It is about our health, right? So if you, and let me just add one more thing, that, you know, anemia, amongst 2 girls, 1 girl in India is anemic. So let's consider all this.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I used to take protein shakes, then I stopped taking it because I realized that that too is ultra processed. So I thought, I'll take protein in its natural form. So bit of a, a sort of a protein extremist that I am. Do you think that the plant-based protein can compete with natural animal proteins or a protein that eggs can provide?
This question is for me?
Yeah, this question is for you.
It was not clear. I'm so sorry. The voice
I'm
was
saying
cutting.
that can plant-based protein make up for the protein that exists in meat and eggs?
See, I'll tell you one thing. We're also a diabetic nation, and 15 to 16% of children are pre-diabetic in our country. So when we have to meet the vegetarian profile, we need to eat dal and rice, a combination of other things. So dal and rice is a complete protein, but look at the carb load. So we have to also consider that these are pre-diabetic children, 15 to 16% in our country. It's huge. So look at the profile. Whereas if you are eating eggs, it's a complete protein. without the addition of carbs. And I will say that, of course, in our country, carbs are a demon because we have to our plate is full of these rotis and the carbs and the millet or whatever grain you're talking about it. Look at the overload that it's coming and it is giving these effects. So it's not just a matter of complete protein. It is a matter of other associated problems that are coming with it, the diseases that we are getting, and the numbers are right in front of us. The data is right in front of us. So we need to look at that.
Okay, Akanksha, people say that the gut is like a second heart. Gut is as important as your heart because the microbiome decides how you will grow up, which diseases might you get, which diseases you might be able to fend off. What I really want to know is that, and Mr. Ramesh, please listen to this question, sir. The food might be good in quotients in terms of carbohydrate, protein, in terms of vegetables, but generally I have also seen that a lot of processed food is reaching children. एक प्लेट के साथ फ्रूटी भी रख दी जाएगी कई बार, that sort of a thing,
Yeah. So definitely processed food definitely adds an extra load to the gut microbiome. And your gut microbiome actually thrives best on food that is natural and most easily bioavailable. And a lot of it depends on your genetics, on obviously where you were born, what kind of food you've grown up eating, etc. So catching them young is a great idea, right? Making sure that kids are getting this at a young age itself is very good for the development of their microbiome. But at the same time, making sure that the quality, I think this is a point I made earlier also, the quality of the meat, the quality of the grains that actually reaches the kids, that's also equally important. Because sometimes, the debate stops at just what is the ratio of the plate, but source, quantity, timing, all of this actually matters just as much. It's not just about, making sure that we have namesake, we have a protein source or we have a carb source. How are they combined? How are we teaching kids to combine? Okay, there's something available in the school, but are we also educating them so that they can take these decisions outside of school? So I feel like, the conversation also needs to get a little bit more holistic. What is the point of having this menu? It's not just to make sure that they have nutrition, it's also to educate them. This is what a great plate looks like. This is how you think about your growth, and this is how it affects your microbiome as well.
But it is also about, Shekhar and then to Ramesh, it's about also getting kids to school. There's so many poor people in this country, they at least get to eat and then they get to study. So you are not only feeding people, Vijay, you are also educating them. So, there is some sort of an incentive on part of the families कि बच्चों को भेज देते हैं, at least they'll be fed and they'll be taught. And if you give them good food and if you give them good education, I think that's the most fundamental job of any state.
Absolutely. And this can be something which can be replicated across all the states, where they're not just looking at whether, chicken biryani or egg is being served, how wholesome is the meal and how does it affect the student at the end of the day? Can the student concentrate more? Are there more outcomes in terms of classroom attention? Is the health good? That's more important. And like I mentioned earlier, Kartikeji, Tamil Nadu has always been at the forefront in terms of welfare schemes. This is a flagship program for them. And irrespective of whether it's chicken biryani or any other biryani, the point is, does a student feel happy eating it? Does a student have a wholesome meal? And what does the student get out of it? And how does it benefit the state, where more students go in and study and, you have a good cohesive learning environment? Because they also need a nutrient body. They also need to eat well to study well. So ultimately, that's what is going to be really important here, the indicators here.
No, it is also about, Shekhar, acceptance of meat and eggs as a natural part of our diet. It's like everyone eats meat, or a majority of people here would eat meat or eggs, but they would not talk about it. What I find it important is that you normalize this. The most important part is you normalize it. It's like in official functions you're feeding everyone vegetarian food, but if you want to eat, you'll have some tangdi kebab. By putting it there, you are saying it is as Indian as vegetarian food. Chicken is as Indian as vegetarian food. Egg is as Indian as vegetarian food. There is a political nuance to it, and that is why I found this story to be done very, very important. Ki haan, acceptable hai. Don't you think so, Shekhar?
And also the mindset changes. You're where everybody thinks as one, and you're looking at what is the outcome out of it, and you're looking at what is the mindset. where the student also gets to know what goes into the meal. It's not just a regular midday meal they're having, what goes into the meal, why is the meal given to them, and how does it impact and
It's
affect
about
them.
diversity. It's also about
Yeah.
diversity. You go to Northeast, you will not find garam masala. You will have bamboo shoots there. It's like understanding diversity.
And respecting it. Yeah.
And accepting it, accepting it that you do not impose your choice on, your choices and your tastes on the other people. So, Ramesh, so are you saying that this is just being tested? It's not being implemented?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is being tested, and we have a lot of conversation regarding this, introducing this one. So we have in 2014 we introduced variety meals. That is very important. So in this list, chicken biryani will be included after testing, after going through the lot of discussions and final approval. So it has been sent to the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu for approving these items to be included in the variety meals. So after testing, after having a lot of discussions and all those things, then it will be implemented.
Am I right in saying that 80% of the Teachers Association in Tamil Nadu has proposed this? I think 80% of them?
Yeah, not 80%. 80 plus associations are go through this.
Okay,
This
80 plus
we
associations.
Have, yeah, 80 plus associations. So here we have noticed a lot of students are facing obesity. They are taking a lot of foods as snacks. Even in they are going to schools. Alongside, they have a lot of shops are there. So they have eaten processed food. So they have taken chocolates, a lot of those things. So they have a lot of calories as well as protein, a lot of things. But they are not healthy. So they have struck in the obesity. Well, so in Tamil Nadu, we have also focused to give snacks in the evening session itself also. So if they out to school, they have already have snacks, natural snacks.
What snacks will you give them?
Yeah, we have provided sundal. So graham, so there is nuts, peanuts. So there's a boiled peanuts. So some things are like that. So if they have in school itself, in the evening class itself, so if they go outside, they will not take as much as outside snacks. So in Tamil Nadu, they have introduced the breakfast scheme also in the morning time also. So it will be launched in September 17. So they have also a list of variety meals. So these two schemes, morning schemes and breakfast scheme and evening snacks. So these three schemes all over India, it will be a very major key role implementing nutritional as well as balanced diet. That is a very, very great thing. So we, as Tamil Nadu Teacher Association, we welcome the movement. So 3-time food, one is morning breakfast, midday meals, and third one is evening snacks. So it will be healthy as well as nutritional as well as balanced diet. So
Okay.
these three things are focused.
You raised a very important issue, Dr. Shilpa, obesity in school children. Why has it increased? Only because of snacking, or the sort of a type of snacking, or are they eating all the time, or there is like, there is no, like there was a time, I'm 50 years old, I had breakfast, then I had lunch. I never got a snack in between.
Also because the narrative changed, no? 6 meals a day. We are also trying to, normalizing that, which is not normal. 2 meals a day, post a certain age, and 3 meals a day, wholesome meals. One problem we are having is of malnutrition, which I just mentioned. We are iron deficient, B12 deficient, D3 deficient. I'm talking about children here. Choline deficient. So your brain development, when we're talking about these children coming to school, we're also talking about their brain development. So all these nutrients that we're talking about, also I feel this conversation is very important because yes, as you rightly said, there is a lot of shame attached to having non-vegetarian food.
Absolutely.
Like, even if I would put out a recipe, there is so much shame attached to it. And that's what I want, that disassociation of politics in nutrition. What is it doing there? I mean, again, the stats are showing us. We are, the pre-diabetic children, 15 to 16%. We have stunted growth now more than China. So the IVF clinics are flourishing. These children are going to grow up because we are not making hormones. We're talking about not having healthy fats, throwing away the yellow of the eggs. How are we going to make our hormones? How are we going to reproduce? How are we going to do all the stuff that we have to do where the brain is required, where the body is required? We are just, I don't know which kind of narrative we are following or what we are trying to achieve here. It's definitely leading to a lot of malnutrition in children, and we need to look at this. I am very, very, when I get blood work done, and I'm talking about children again over here, when I get blood work done, 12-year-olds, 16-year-olds, huge, massive kind of deficiencies, which we should not be seeing.
Is it because of the fact that they're not having varied
Yes.
sort of food? Like, are they only having like processed rice,
A lot
processed
of
meat?
process. Yeah. So all the schools, if you look at it, even I feel that there should be a nutritionist in place. There has to be a structured approach to this. Who is designing the menu? Even if you're talking about snacks, is it a complete source of nutrition? If you're talking about, okay, we're giving them chana, we're giving them, what is it doing to their body? Is it actually really healthy? Or is it
You made a very important point, Akanksha. Child nutrition, though it's important, but it's not taken very, very seriously.
Yeah. And also, we don't understand it very well. What ends up happening is that, we are giving kids an option to eat. And of course, this is also the time they're learning how to make choices, how to actually decide what to put on their plate. At this time, we're not actually even teaching them how to understand their bodies. I ate something, did it suit me? I ate something, how's it affecting me? Do I feel sharper, stronger? All of these are things that should be inculcated at an early age, but we are absolutely not talking about it. And that's actually not a conversation as well. We're always looking at nutrition from the perspective of macronutrients and micronutrients, which is great, but then helping them understand their bodies and how the food is interacting with them is very critical. Like when we talk about obesity, we're also talking about the fact that there's so much over snacking. All this processed food or this culture of overeating or undereating because they want to look a certain way, all of these are real problems with kids as well. Their psychology is getting affected. And then that has a direct impact on their gut microbiome and then their propensity for disease much later, right? We do talk a lot about diabetes and obesity, but there is a plethora of diseases just waiting to enter kids' bodies because of the bad culture.
Sometimes I feel, when was the last time I try to ensure that I feel hungry. I really feel hungry, and I can sustain on that feeling for hours. When was the last time people felt hungry, waited for food for 2 hours, and then had the food and had a little before the stomach is full. I think that.
And when was the last time you didn't feel guilty also?
Absolutely.
For not for having a little bit of a cheat or so-called, food outside the perfect idea of what food is. When was the last time you allowed yourself that?
Absolutely,
Right?
but I think the Tamil Nadu has done a great job by introducing it, not only in terms of nutrition, but also in terms of normalizing the choices, as Dr. Shilpa Arora said. It's okay to have chicken, boss. It's okay to have eggs. It's as Indian as Loki. It is as Indian as Arbi. And on this note, I thank you all of you for joining me on such a riveting conversation I had on food in children in Tamil Nadu. And to my viewers, this is all I had on Point 1, but don't go away. On the other side, I'll have a second On Point in which I had a conversation with BJP spokesperson Charu Pragya on Gen Z movement in Delhi.
Dear bestie, how can I thank you for those long, tight, it will be alright hugs, for those unladylike laughter sessions, for healing me? How can I thank you? They say the truest friendships cannot be manufactured.